Magnus here. Welcome back to my channel. As always, for more tips and tricks, head over to my Instagram account. This week I want to talk about the keto diet, which is an extremely popular diet, and I'm sure that you've all heard about it and you probably even know the basics of the keto diet. Let me start by saying that most diets work. A diet is a strategy to control your food intake, what you eat, when you eat it, and how much you eat. People are swearing by the keto diet, saying that they lost 20-30 pounds, they have better mental clarity, better mood, and just overall a much better health and quality of life. So today I am going to break down everything you need to know about the keto diet. The ketogenic diet is a low-carb, high-fat, moderate protein diet, where the goal is to make your body use ketone bodies as fuel instead of glucose. Your brain, for example, wants to use glucose as fuel. So as long as you have enough glucose in your body, your brain's going to use that as its fuel. The goal of the keto diet is to be in ketosis, which is where your body and your brain is switching over from glucose as fuel to ketone bodies. When your body's low enough on glucose, your liver starts to produce ketone bodies. And that is then the fuel that your body's using instead of the glucose. When you get on a keto diet and start eating fat instead of carbs as fuel, what happens is that your body gets low on glucose and your liver starts to produce ketone bodies instead. And that's going to be the new primary source of fuel for the body. For the first couple of days, it can be pretty rough while your body is switching over to ketone bodies as fuel, especially for your brain, because remember, your brain wants to use glucose as fuel. So when the brain is switching over to ketone bodies, you might feel sluggish, you might get a headache, or you just might feel really slow. So it can be quite the challenge to get started. A classic keto diet consists of 70 to 80% of fat, 15 to 20% of protein, and 5% or less of carbs. So 5% of carbs or less in a day, that's around 50 grams of carbs or less. And that is quite the challenge, because if you know your carbs, you know that 2 slices of bread can be around 50 grams. So it is pretty difficult to stay away from those delicious carbs. A little side note is that your body is actually producing a little glucose every day without you eating carbs. This is because things like your nervous system and your red blood cells run on glucose. Just know that your body can actually produce some glucose to take care of those functions without you eating any carbs. So why keto? There are some health benefits to the keto diet. It can improve your LDL, your bad cholesterol. It can help you lower your blood pressure. It's also worth mentioning that there's a lot of interesting studies on ketones and the brain. In one study of epileptic children that were all on a ketogenic diet, 50% or greater saw a reduction in number of seizures, while 16% became seizure-free. Right now, there's a lot of studies on Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and the keto diet as well. So without going too deep, there are some studies that are supporting the benefits of the keto diet and disease. So what should I be eating on a keto diet and what should I avoid? So you should be avoiding most carbs, especially the simple, fast carbs. So stay away from sugar, processed junk food, flour, bread, pasta, rice, potatoes. Avoid things like cakes, candy, cookies, soda, chips. The bottom line is you want to avoid foods that are turning into glucose in your bloodstream. So what can you eat on a keto diet? Well, you should be eating egg, fish, meat, nuts, which are filled with good fats, avocado, vegetables. You can even eat bacon and cheese. Just know that it's all about keeping the carbs down. 5% or less. So what's my personal opinion on the keto diet? Does it work? Heck yeah, it works. Not only can you lose weight on keto, but it also promotes health and wellness. As I mentioned before, people have reported improved mental clarity, fat loss, and just overall well-being. But as always, I recommend to figure out what works for you. If your main goal is to lose fat or body weight, you should find a strategy or a diet that you can stick to for a long time. A successful diet or strategy is something that you're happy with, that is something you can stick to, and something that you can turn into a lifestyle. So is the keto diet better than other diets? I would say maybe or no. Keto isn't necessarily better than any other diet unless you can stick to it and you're happy with it. I will say though, the keto diet is an excellent choice if you're diabetic. To wrap this up, I just want to say that the keto diet is not a short-term solution, if you ask me. Like any other diet, you need to figure out what works for you, what makes you feel better, that doesn't deprive you, and that you can stick to it long term. If that ticks all the boxes, that is probably the diet for you. That's it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, hit that subscribe button with notifications on, and I will see you next week.